So Q from Day 26 has finally broken his silence about what happened to him while working with Diddy. And woo, he said a lot. For those of you who don't know, Day 26 came out with an album a few months back. When their album came out, they were doing different interviews on radio stations and podcasts. When they were doing the interviews, Q kept discussing something that happened to him, but he said he could not speak about it in full detail just yet. What he did share in those interviews was that he was struggling with his mental health because of what had happened to him while working with Diddy. Now, recently, him and Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane did an interview on a podcast, and Q basically told us what happened. Let me start off by saying that Q and his mama both blamed Dawn Richard for what happened to Q. But I will talk about my personal feelings about that at the end of the video. But for now, here's what he said in the podcast. So what Q said was that one day he and Dawn were invited to Diddy's mansion in the Hamptons while Dawn was working on Last Train to Paris with Diddy Dirty Money. He said that when they got to the mansion, Dawn gave him a pill and took one herself. And he assumed that it was an E-pill because they had been taking them for some time, like partying with Diddy and other folks. About 20 minutes after he took the pill, he said he completely blacked out and that when he woke up, there were a bunch of people standing around him with their phones and cameras laughing. And he started screaming in a really high-pitched voice because he was terrified and could not recall what happened to him at all that night. He and his mom then started to describe what sounded like the decline of his mental health, where he was in and out of hospitals, and he said that he was walking around Rochester, New York with screwdrivers and talking to trees because he thought that Diddy was after him and that Diddy was looking for him. He said that he did not start healing from the traumatic experience until about 2020 and has been on the journey of continuing to heal. Now, the reason that he and his mama think that Dawn is responsible is because he alleges that she gave him the pill that they took. Now, I also want to say that he did openly admit that they had been taking E-pills for quite some time and partying with other celebrities. Now, his mama said that she asked both he and Dawn about these pills. And they said, yes, they were receiving pills, but they weren't taking them. They would put them in their pocket and act like they were tripping off of whatever pill that they thought they were given so that they didn't seem like they didn't take it. Q shared in the interview that they were not pocketing those pills the whole time. They were actually taking them, and he was lying to his mama. His mama also feels like it was Dawn's fault because she was 8 years older than him, which I didn't know, and she felt like it was her job to protect him. Now, here's my personal opinion on them blaming Dawn. It sounds like she was also a victim, and I don't know that she's solely responsible for what he took and what happened to him that night.